Hey guys, my name is Amanda. Welcome to my channel. I'm so happy to have you here today. Today's video is a very special one that I really hope that you enjoy. So if you do enjoy it, please consider subscribing and also hitting that thumbs up button, as that really helps me out here on YouTube. And let's jump right into it with my first DIY. This first one is a bunny head wreath that I think is so adorable, and it's very easy to make. We're going to begin with this floral wreath foam form from Dollar Tree and this bunny head wreath form as well. It is also from Dollar Tree. I'm going to take my wire snips and I'm going to cut off that inside ring. Once that is done, it should look something like this. Now I'm going to place my bunny head wreath form on top of the foam wreath form, and I'm going to drip tons of hot glue down between the wreath forms to hold them together while pressing firmly. Now this is going to look not so great, but that is okay. It's going to be covered up. Our only objective here is to get them firmly held together. So here is what this looks like. And now I'm going to grab some white fuzzy yarn. I believe this particular yarn came from Walmart, but you can purchase yarn like this at pretty much any craft store. And I'm just going to wrap the whole wreath form, well, the face part of it at least, glue it down, wrap it around. It is so easy to do. When you get to the ears, just go around that little wire part and continue wrapping until the whole circular face part is done. Then this is what it should look like. Now you're going to grab two of these mop duster pads from Dollar Tree. Here's what they look like. I'm going to be using them for the ears. So I'm going to place it upside down and then add a bunch of hot glue between the wire ear and the duster pad. Then I'm simply going to fold the duster pad over the wire. Be careful of your fingers. Finger protectors might be a good idea at this point, but it's going to look a little wily. We're going to trim it down later, and this turns out really well. So just start at the bottom, folding upward, and when you get to the top, you will need to trim it off because it's going to look like this. So I'm just going to fold it over, and then it's going to be sticking out quite a bit. So I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut off all the excess at the side there, and then I'm just going to trim down the top, as you can see me doing here. Now this is very messy, so it would be great to have a vacuum on hand, but I think it turns out so nice. Now I'm just going to trim the whole ear around the edges and sides, just give it a haircut with my scissors to form the shape, and then I will repeat the same process on the other ear. This is what it should look like. Now just grab up some florals. I wanted to make a pretty floral crown. These particular florals are from Walmart. I purchased them last year, but I did see they were still carrying them this year, and they are so nice. So for most of them, I'm just going to cut the stem off so I can glue them directly to the form. I did leave a couple of them long for the sides, but I'm basically just filling in my little floral crown, and I am tucking some greenery in here and there for a little bit of color contrast. I really thought this was pretty. I debated adding a larger bow, but decided to just add a couple of tiny bows on the tops of the ears, and I created those tiny bows using some Dollar Tree ribbon. This is optional. I just really like the way it looks, and here is my finished product. It was so inexpensive and easy to make, and it's also very customizable to your floral styles and your ribbon color, so you can totally make this project your own, and I really hope that you enjoyed it. Today I'm a part of the Easter Around the World challenge put together by my friend CJ. We are all hosts, so here's a picture of all of my lovely and amazing creator friends. I will have our playlist linked in my description box so you can get tons of Easter inspiration from all over the world. I absolutely love doing these collaborations, and I hope that you check out the playlist. Let's move into my next DIY. It is kind of unusual, but I do think that it is cute, and I hope that you like it as well. I'm going to take a Dollar Tree vase and I'm going to spray paint it. I use this Rust-Oleum 2X, but you can use whatever color that you like. It should look something like this. Next, I want to put some paint splatters on it so that it more resembles an egg. So I just took some chocolate bar paint by Apple Barrel and watered it down. I am then going to put it onto a brush and I'm going to run my finger over the brush, creating a splatter pattern. Of course, this is very messy, but I did just use a baby wipe to clean up my table. And also, if you get any unwanted large splatters, you can use a baby wipe to wipe that off your project as well. Now I'm taking a little floral foam piece from Dollar Tree. This one was used, but I'm going to cut it in half with my pool noodle knife, and then I'm going to glue it to the bottom of this vase so it resembles an egg. And now I'm going to create the nest. It is unusual to have a nest on top of an egg, but I thought this was really cute, and I actually got the idea from Araceli Chan DIY. Now I'm going to hot glue some moss all over my nest. I did want to add in some raffia and some tiny flowers. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any in my stash, so my nest is going to be very, very basic. But Araceli's over at Araceli Chan, she added in a whole bunch of goodies and made hers really cute. So you could totally go a little more with the embellishments than I did. But here's what this looks like, and you can trim it with your scissors if necessary. I just took some of these cute little eggs that I actually got off of an egg garland from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to choose one of each color and glue them down on top of my little nest. I did want to add some kind of a finishing touch to this, so I created another little bow with this Dollar Tree ribbon and glued it to the front of my project underneath the nest. Let me know what you think about this one. Again, I think it would look a lot better with a little bit of raffia and some tiny little flowers, but you use what you have, and I do think that it is pretty cute. Okay, now we're going to move into another one using another glass vase from the Dollar Tree as well. Before we do that, I do want to apologize for my voice really quick. I know I probably don't sound awesome, but please disregard that. Okay, here we go into our next project. This cute little bunny inside of an Easter egg. So here is another Dollar Tree vase that I have spray painted white. Here's a Dollar Tree bunny and a Dollar Tree sock, one of the long ones. So I am going to flip my vase upside down and pull my sock over top of the vase like so, tucking the top down, and then I will just cut off the foot part at the bottom. I will flip my vase over and I will just hot glue that edge down so that my vase will still sit flat and nicely. Then you may have to trim off a little bit of that excess sock. Now, if you do not care to use a sock, you could alternate different colors of yarn, or you could paint a design on this vase. Dollar Tree also has several different patterns of socks, so there are some ideas for you. Next, I'm going to take my Dollar Tree bunny and I'm going to cut off his feet and set them aside. I'm then going to pick him up and shove him inside of this vase like so. And then I'm going to pull his hands down and glue them in a downward motion on this egg, because I am going to make it look like he is holding a carrot. And I did cut off the tag on the bunny. I just forgot to do it until now. So here's what this should look like. Now I'm going to glue the little feet upward. I think this looks so cute. So just using a little dab of hot glue, and this holds really well. Then I'm going to put a dab of hot glue on a carrot from Dollar Tree that comes 6 to a pack, and just kind of tuck it under one of the little paws there. Here's what that should look like. Next, I'm just going to glue the front of my bunny inside of that egg a little bit more so it's looking the way I want it to. Here's some Dollar Tree carrot ribbon. I formed a tiny shoelace bow and glued it down at the top of my bunny's head between the ears. And here's what this looks like. I hope you guys like this. Again, I know it's pretty different, but I think it is pretty cute as well. So I recently made a video containing these crafts. They are Rustic Farmhouse DIYs. I'm going to have this video linked below, but I wanted to make a carrot to go with all of these DIYs, so that is what I'm going to show you now. This carrot is to match my Rustic Farmhouse style, and I made it out of trash. So I grabbed a piece of cardboard that I had. I traced out a carrot. It's not perfect, but it is a carrot-like shape, and I cut it out. Here's some fabric that I purchased from Walmart. I'm going to lay my carrot on top of the fabric and cut around a larger piece. This is what it looks like. This cardboard did have some kind of weird foam on the back of it, but it still worked out well for my craft. I am just going to be gluing the fabric around. Of course, this will be my back, but I'm just gluing it down carefully, folding it over to get it as smooth as possible. I did try to iron this fabric. I don't own an iron, but I used my Cricut heat press and it didn't iron out super well, but I did try, so in case you notice the wrinkles. But honestly, with Rustic Farmhouse things, I don't really worry too much because I don't think they are supposed to be perfect. I just tried to pull the fabric as tight as possible. So here I am, just pulling as tight as possible, hot gluing down. Please be careful of your fingers and just cut off any excess there at the tip of the carrot. Next, I'm going to wrap some twine around my carrot by gluing it down, wrapping it around, and cutting off the excess. This is optional, but I think it looks pretty and it will help hold our greenery that we are going to add to be the top of this carrot. Here's a couple of ribbons that I purchased at Sam's and also used in those other Rustic Farmhouse crafts I showed you. I'm going to create a bow with this ribbon. I'm just going to fold my ribbon over until I have 2 loops on either side like so, and then cut off the excess. I'm going to do this for both of my ribbons, except with my skinnier ribbon, I will fold until I have 3 loops. I will then stack them together, and I am going to use a zip tie to cinch them tightly in the middle, but you could use a pipe cleaner, twine, yarn, whatever you like. Just make sure that it is pulled tightly so your bow can fluff out. Then I'm going to use hot glue to attach my bow to the side of my carrot at an angle, and it should look something like this. I take another one of those Dollar Tree carrots and hot glue it down in the middle of my bow. I then grab some boxwood greenery, which I purchased inexpensively at Walmart, and I'm going to glue it to the back of my carrot, just tucking the ends of it under that twine. Now, I don't show on camera, but once I'm done with this, I do use another strip of fabric to cover up the back of this carrot, and then I add a small piece of twine to be a hanger in case I decide to hang it, although I also think it looks really cute propped up. So those are some options for you. I did decide to create some tails, so I just use a zip tie to zip tie a couple of pieces of ribbon in the middle like so. I then glued that under my bow, and I'm going to dovetail these for a boutique finish, which simply means I am going to fold my ribbon in half and cut a triangle upward. So this is what it should look like. The tails are optional. I just really felt like this craft needed it. So here is this rustic carrot that I made out of trash to go with all of my other carrot DIYs. I hope you like it. You also could distress this if you have any antique wax on hand. Next, I also made a Peep collection recently, or a Peep inspired collection recently. Here is what this looks like. I will link this video below as well, but I wanted to make a couple more crafts with some of the yarn that I had left over from this video. So I'm going to make a Peep inspired Easter basket using this yarn from Walmart and a pool noodle. Here's a pool noodle knife that you can purchase at Walmart to just cut a little bit off of the pool noodle. You really just want to cut off depending on what size of basket you use and how long you want the handle to be. Then you're going to wrap the pool noodle in your yarn by gluing it down and wrapping it around. You can use any size or shape of plastic container to be your basket. I purchased this one at Target, but Dollar Tree has similar. I spray painted it white. I then took strips of my yarn and I'm going to be gluing it down across the front by cutting the strip and gluing either side. You could wrap all the way around. I didn't want to use that much yarn as I knew the front is really all that is going to be seen when I display this. So I'm just going to do this all the way up to the top. But again, if you want to do all the way around, that is absolutely optional. I just think that this looks really pretty and it should look something like this when you are finished. And then you're just going to want to glue your handle down inside. Again, you can adjust the length of the pool noodle and those pool noodle knives work really well. I put some hot glue on the bottom of the pool noodle and also on the side where the pool noodle is going to touch the inside of the basket. And I held one side until it dried before I began on the other side. Next, I created a bow with some Dollar Tree ribbons, and of course, I dovetailed the tails for the boutique finish that I like. I used a Dollar Tree baby blanket to dummy up the inside of my basket, and here is what it looks like. I put some Peeps supplies that I found at Walmart, but the larger plastic Peeps that you see, the nesting dolls, actually come from Dollar Tree's $5 section. So here's another DIY I made to go with this collection. Again, I'm using a glass vase from Dollar Tree. I definitely used a lot of them today, but they're so fun to craft with. I'm simply going to be wrapping it in this yarn from Walmart, as I did in the last DIY. So glue it down, wrap it around. It will look something like this. I did get several wraps before I pushed my yarn down tightly. The more you push it down, it gives you a really cool look. So this is what I did. And when I get to the top, I am going to glue it down and trim off any excess. This is what it should look like. I am going to be flipping my vase upside down because I am using eggs that I had cut off of Easter grass picks. So I didn't have the stems that would fit down inside the vase. I flipped the vase upside down, glued some floral foam to it, and now I just found some extra floral stems and I'm going to be reinserting them inside of these eggs. Again, these eggs were from another project. So I'm just cutting it down and then I'm going to put my eggs inside of the floral foam. Once that is done and I have them all in position, I am then going to be adding some boxwood greenery. But again, here is what this looks like. I wanted to improvise and use what I had. So with the boxwood greenery, I'm just going to cut small pieces off of the branches and then I'm going to stab them into this floral foam so you don't see any of the foam. And I also think it adds a really nice color contrast. So here's an idea for you if you have little odds and ends that you are wanting to use up. I honestly think that this came out pretty cute. I really hope that you enjoy it as much as I enjoy creating these DIYs for you today. Okay, so that is it for me. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Also, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Take care, friends. I will see you soon.